Hello everyone, welcome to the Top Deck here at the Paramount Theatre. Rich Hagon, Brian David Marshall with you for the Day 3 wrap of the World Championship. BDM still with a ton of great content coming from the world of Kaladesh, but we're going to focus for the next few minutes here on the stream on the climax of the World Championship Swiss rounds.
Wow, can we take a couple moments to catch our breath after that match between Marcio Carvalho and Oliver Chu? Unbelievable magic. Came down to the last round, Draft Master playing against Constructed Master. That's how they both qualified for this tournament. Draft Master's locked in, but the Constructed Master had to win, and he was on his back heels that entire game 3. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's not that often that we use the word spine tingling to actually mean our spines were tingling. Literally, it was just watching the end of that. Basically nearly fell off the balcony.
Yeah, I don't know that it was completely crucial to the outcome, but there was a really tense moment in that game where Marcio Carvalho's got Liliana of the Veil on one loyalty, and Oliver Chu's holding Obstinate Bailoff, and
Marcio's holding the dice.
He's holding the dice. He's trying to figure out what's he going to do. Is he going to tick it up? Is he not going to do anything? Is he just going to pass the turn without using his Planeswalker? And Oliver Chu, all of 18 years old, has to muster his best. I'm not giving you anything. And he does, and Marcio ticks it up, and boom, down comes the Obstinate Bailoff. There's a little bit of elbow room in the life total.
16-6 instead of 16-2.
Yeah. Just a tremendous game of magic on both sides of the table there.
Okay, so why don't we take a look at where we stood after 10 rounds. This is coming into today. We had played 3 rounds of draft, 4 rounds of standard, 3 more rounds of draft. This is how things began. So let's take a look. Marcio Carvalho at 8-2, then 5 players on 7-3. Tau, BBD, Manfield, Blahon, and Yasuoka. So let's walk it through round by round. So here we go. We play 1 round of Modern. What does it look like after 11 rounds with 3 to go? Let's look at that. So there we are. Marcio now in a 4-way tie for the lead with Blahon, BBD, and Yasuoka. And then piling up the field, Luis Scott Vargas in 10th, Oliver Chu down there in 8th with 3 rounds to go. Remember, only 4 make it in.
And it's worth noting that at that point for Luis Scott Vargas, what is that, a 5-2 run that he's on?
He began at 1-3.
From 1-3, so.
Yep. So on we go to round number 12. Marcio Carvalho and BBD now lead the pack, and they're going to face each other in round 13. Blahon and Yasuoka, plus Seth Manfield, reigning world champion, still defending the title. 2 is up to 6th. Scott Vargas at 7-5. In 9th, in between the 2, JC Tau and Thiago Saporito.
So yeah, JC Tau brought black-white tokens to this tournament. You can see didn't do too well for him. He fell back over the course of the first 2 matches of Modern on the day.
So at that point, 2 rounds to go. We know that Carvalho and BBD are in. Let's see what happens in round 13. Well, they decide to draw. At that point, Lucas Blahon gets to 9-4. He's in 3rd place at that point. 2, who keeps on winning, gets to 8-4-1. And then the 3 remaining 8-5s, Yasuoka, Manfield, and Scott Vargas, are all playing a game of win. And let's see if I'm in.
Right, and you have to just go back to the end of day 1 for that match, Oliver Chu versus Steve Rubin, that ended in a draw, and it could have ended differently. We didn't know how it would work out, but we knew that draw was going to be a real speed bump in terms of how the standings played out.
Yeah, it absolutely could be. So here is the standings after round 14. This is your final. This is how it all ends up. Let's take a look at the overall standings. There it is. Brian Brown-Dewin is your leader at 10-3-1. Marcio Carvalho and Oliver Chu 9-4-1. And then in the end, did Yasuoka, did Blahon, did Scott Vargas get the job done at 9-5? Terrific records. We knew that was where the cut was going to be somewhere. And when the dance stopped, it's Shota Yasuoka who emerges into the top 4.
And I loved the line that I believe it was Mate used in the booth. He said, in the end, we had our Grand Prix Master, our Draft Master, our Constructed Master, and our Master all into the top 4 here at the World Championship.
Now, if you are Shota Yasuoka and you go back to standard and you look at all the Hall of Famers and Pro Tour champions that could be with you in the top 4, you have to smell blood in the water. You have to think, if you're Shota, I can do this and I can go better than I did in the Players' Championship of 2012, the first of these new style
And this is the
World
first time he's been
Championships.
back to this event since then as well.
Right, 4 years on, and here he is. So why don't we take a look at our top four? We begin with the number one seed. It's Brian Brown-Dewin, the Grand Prix Master, one of only 2 Gold Pros in the event. You'll see the other one in just a moment. If either of the Gold Pros win, they will turn gold into platinum, BDM. That's part of the prize. In theory, we didn't think it would necessarily be relevant, but for 22 of the 24 already platinum, BBD and Marcio can do it here.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at that lifetime earnings for Brian Brown-Dewin, and it is not nearly the number we see on some of the more seasoned veterans of the Pro Tour here. But he has an opportunity to get that right, like a few dollars short of $100,000 if he wins 2 more matches of Magic this weekend. He could go from $30,000 in lifetime earnings to nearly $100,000.
And he has improved his position massively by knocking Lucas Blahon out, because that was why he played. He didn't want Blahon's deck in the top 4.
I believe Lucas was the one Jund Delirium deck that was anywhere remotely in the running to make the top 4 here.
And it seemed very likely that they would play in the semi-finals, so that all factored in to BBD's decision to play in that last round. Let's take a look at our number 2 seed coming into the World Championship top 4. It's the Draft Master, Marcio Carvalho of Portugal, the other Gold Pro in the field. Lots of pro points, 268 there, over 100,000 lifetime earnings, and a Grand Prix winner as long ago as Lisbon 2005 on home soil. BDM, the Portuguese Magic community, it's quite a small community. There hasn't been a ton of Portuguese success historically. They're not one of Magic's powerhouses. It is fair to say that this means a huge amount to a very passionate Portuguese Magic community.
Absolutely, and not just Portugal, but when I talked to Marcia about it, he said he had supporters in Spain, he had supporters in Brazil, all around the world. We had a little balcony area off to the side here, and it was Thiago Saporito and Willie Adel doing their best Statler and Waldorf impersonation, just booing everyone
From
else
the
who
cheap
came
seats.
out and just cheering for. No, they were cheering for everybody, obviously, but they were cheering extra loudly for their teammate Marcio Carvalho.
So let's take a look at our number 3 seed here at the Magic the Gathering World Championship. And it is Oliver Tew. We're just getting a few sound fun and games here in the venue. Sorry about that. Constructed Master is Oliver Tew. There we are.
He has had a resounding season.
He has. Only 18 years old, BDM. And he's just... Look, I expected him to be almost incoherent talking with you after that match. And he was, I'm going to lay out the turns for you. I'm going to explain that I was under pressure here, and then I did this, and then that relieved the pressure a little bit, and then, and Christian Calcano is known as the calculator, but the way Tew approaches the game, it's so cerebral, it's fantastic.
And again, this is a player with exactly 4 Pro Tours of experience under his belt. All 4 came in the past season. He won the Rookie of the Year title. He won the Constructed Master title by having the best constructed record of any player on the Pro Tour, and went 6-1-1, and by his own admission, should have been 7-1 in Constructed.
So that's Oliver Tew. We have one more player to show you. Let's take a look. Here's Shota Yasuoka, top pro points in Asia Pacific. Let's remember this, not only has Shota just got his way into the top 4 BDM, Shota just made it into this tournament. It was in the last rounds of the top 8 at Pro Tour Eldritch Moon that finally the threat to his berth here and in the top pro points for Asia Pacific was secured. So he has been right up against the wire every step of the way.
Absolutely, and Marcio Carvalho, we talked earlier about how he was in the top 8 of the Worlds in Yokohama in 2005. Shota Yasuoka, 15th place at that same tournament, and that was really where he launched his professional Magic career.
And what a career it's been. It's great to see him in the Hall of Fame. And I always love it when a player who is in the discussion for Hall of Fame, who then makes it in, then demonstrates why it's great that they're in the Hall of Fame and goes on with their career. And Shota's certainly doing that and could be a world champion this time tomorrow.
Right, tries to get into the super singlet John Finkel second Hall of Fame.
Well, that is coming your way tomorrow. But for now, it's time to draw breath, because that is the story of day 3 here at the Magic the Gathering World Championship.